You're watching Good Day New York from the most powerful name in local news, Fox 5 News.
And we turn to your health this morning. As a parent, you certainly know your child's likely to get hurt, get sick, get a bruise, and you want to make sure you're fully prepared for anything and everything that might happen.
So you need to stock up with a few essentials, and here with medicine cabinet must-haves for every parent is our own Dr. Sapna Parikh. Thank you for being here.
Yep, thanks guys. There's so much out there, it's hard to know, and it changes, as your child gets older, so we try to keep it to the must-haves.
Well, every medicine cabinet had an old-fashioned thermometer, but this is the newfangled type that you recommend?
Yeah, there's some of the newer ones are digital, they're a lot more accurate, and you can use them under the arm, in the mouth, even as a rectal thermometer. But if you're gonna call your doctor and say, I think my child has a fever, you kind of want to be able to tell them what the temperature is. Yeah, so that's first things first.
And certainly to be taken under the advisement of a doctor, maybe at first you call an emergency room. If your child appears to have a very high fever, you can use some fever reducers. Which ones do you recommend?
Yeah, so just something to have in your medicine cabinet. There's children's Tylenol, there's children's Motrin. Again, you don't necessarily need to give these, or you can ask your doctor when to give them, but they're nice to have on hand because if your child has a high fever in the middle of the night and you're not wanting to run out to the drugstore in the middle of the night. And these also change by age, but so there's, as your child gets older, there are lozenges, for example. But something to have in your cabinet.
All right, getting your child to swallow medicine or your husband to swallow medicine is tricky. So tell us about this thing.
That is a medicine spoon, just something you want to have, whether it's the Tylenol, whether it's the cough syrup, whether it's a prescription medication, so you know exactly how much you're giving.
And you're saying this is equal to this amount?
It's deceiving, right? It looks like it's a lot more in the spoon, but that's the same amount.
They do that in bars too. They put the drink in a taller glass and they fool you.
Fool you and how much vodka you're really getting.
I mean, yeah, you do want to know exactly what size is which and how much is how much, so make sure you have those little measuring things around the house in one form or fashion, right?
Yep. Next, we have cough syrup. So if your child's congested or coughing, again, like the Tylenol, something you might want to just have. Doesn't mean you have to give it. You still want to check with your doctor, but there's two different kinds of cough suppressants. This one breaks up the cough. This one's a suppressant, so again, you want to check with your doctor.
Suppressants, there seems to be some sort of gray areas of whether or not they work, but it seems like the expectorants do work.
Yep, to break up the cough. And you want to be careful, especially with kids under the age of 2.
All right, Ron, let's pretend you've been injured.
This is for cuts and scrapes and insect bites down here. This one is kind of a new one. It's called BloodSTOP. It's a type of gauze that coagulates with the blood, and so it actually stops the bleeding.
And you can feel it kind of turns
clear.
to gel, yeah, when it's wet with.
And then you just wipe it off. Then we've got some fun Band-Aids with the fun designs, and then regular gauze to stop bleeding.
And this can be good too for men when they cut themselves shaving. And finally, just for general cuts and scrapes, you always want to have. I mean, this just seems like a no-brainer. Peroxide, right?
Peroxide to rinse a wound without the sting. There's antibiotic ointment that also has a pain reliever, a numbing agent in there. And then the last group over there is for insect bites. There's Benadryl to have on hand and cortisone. You want to be careful with young kids, but for insect bites or for allergies, for a bee sting.
And calamine's always good to have, a good standby.
Poison ivy.
It might go without saying, but you should check the dates on all of these, because if you bought some of this stuff last season, it might be expired. You want to freshen up your medicine.
Exactly, and all of this costs about $100.
Or if the price tag has the name of a supermarket chain that isn't even in this part of the country, but where you used to live.
Right.
That's a sign.
That's a sign you need to throw it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we have more information on our website, and for a list of how to prep your entire home for medical emergencies, you can log on to myfoxny.com and click on the Good Day tab.
Thank you, Dr. Sapna.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
How about hair emergencies?
I don't know if Sky Guardian has like a special predictor for particularly bad hair days, but I could use it.